The fight to blow the lid off the Jeffrey Epstein conspiracy has been absolutely brutal. But, behind the headlines, there's been a completely different kind of war raging, a political one. And right at the very center of it all is a champion that you would never expect. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the politics of the Epstein files and the powerful, powerful forces that just might be pulling the strings.
And that's our guy, Representative Ro Khanna, a Democrat from California. He said this was maybe the cleanest way forward to get the Epstein files out in the open. But what does that even mean, the cleanest way? And more importantly, what's driving him, of all people, to be front and center in this thing?
So yeah, what is really driving the man from Silicon Valley? I mean, to get a handle on the fight for the files, you first have to understand the man who helped lead the charge. And well, let's just say it's a lot more complicated than it looks on the surface.
Okay, so the first thing you have to realize is that this push for transparency wasn't your typical red versus blue slugfest. No. In fact, it created one of the most surprising partnerships you'll find in Washington. And here they are. Talk about strange bedfellows. You've got Ro Khanna, a full-blown progressive Democrat, teaming up with Thomas Massie, a libertarian-leaning Republican. These two actually co-sponsored the Epstein Files Transparency Act. I mean, they formed this powerful duo that just smashed right through the usual party lines to demand some answers.
Now, to really understand this story, we've got to zoom in on Ro Khanna himself, because this guy is a politician of some really fascinating contradictions, which makes his role in all of this even more, well, compelling.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly, right? The two sides of Ro Khanna. On one hand, you've got the progressive hero. This is the guy who co-chaired Bernie Sanders' campaign and started a caucus to swear off big PAC money. But on the other hand, he is the ultimate power broker. He represents the wealthiest district in Silicon Valley, and his campaign is funded by top execs from places like, Google and Apple. And yeah, the numbers definitely don't lie. Look at this. Open Secrets shows his #1 source of funding isn't from grassroots supporters. It's the securities and investment industry. We're talking about venture capital, folks. This is the very engine that fuels Silicon Valley. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Who exactly is paying for this crusade? So with that complicated picture of Khanna in our minds, let's turn to the actual battle, the high-stakes fight that went down in Washington, D.C. over getting these Epstein documents released.
Just look at how fast this all happened. It was dramatic. In September of 2025, the Republican leadership literally slammed the door shut on the bill. But then, by November, the pressure from Khanna and Massie got so intense, it forced the speaker's hand. And then, get this, a totally stunning reversal from President Trump. He went from blocking the release to signing the act into law in just a matter of days. And it all leads up to the DOJ dropping this massive trove of documents. The speed of that turnaround, that's what has so many people asking what was really going on behind the curtain.
And this is where the story takes a turn. Because that rapid change of heart, plus Khanna's very unique position, it raises a really intriguing possibility. What if this wasn't just about politics? What if it was a proxy war? A battle between some of the most powerful people on the entire planet?
So, let's just ask the question out loud. Could the political fight over the Epstein files actually be a shadow war, connected to the rivalries and power plays of Silicon Valley's biggest tech titans?
This, right here, lays out the whole tangled web. You see, on one side, you've got people like Reid Hoffman and Bill Gates, key players in the whole Microsoft universe. On the other side, you have their biggest rivals, like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. And where's Ro Khanna in all this? Well, he represents the interests of Google and Apple, and he's also taken money from Peter Thiel. So you have to ask, could this whole Epstein crusade be a way for one side of Silicon Valley to land a knockout blow on the other? It sounds crazy, but the connections, they're pretty hard to just ignore.
So, after all the political chess moves and the public screaming for answers, what was the final outcome? And what did it all mean for the man who was right in the middle of it?
In the end, a mind-blowing 3.5 million pages of files were released, which, sounds like a huge win for transparency, but maybe not so much for actual justice. The Deputy Attorney General came out and announced that no additional prosecutions would come from these files. So you're left wondering if putting people in jail was ever the real point.
For Ro Khanna, though, the political result was undeniable. This crusade launched him straight into the national spotlight. He's now seen as this brave leader, willing to take on what he calls the corrupting forces in our democracy. That's a really powerful story to tell, and it's a story that has a lot of people whispering about his future ambitions.
And that leaves us right here, with this final question. When the darkest secrets of the powerful are on the line, who actually controls how the story ends? Is it the politicians arguing on the House floor? Is it the public demanding justice? Or Is the final chapter always written by the very same powerful forces they claim to be exposing?